Today, a lady by the name Mary Kwamboka Onyancha stopped reggae at the Milimani Law Courts. This lady arrived at the law courts crying and wailing. Why? Because according to this lady, between 2013 and 2014, she had an intimate relationship with the Chief Justice David Maraga. And out of that intimate affairs, they had a baby. And David Maraga has refused to take responsibility of that baby. And this lady has been trying to get justice through courts without success. So in her own wisdom, today she decided to stop reggae at the Milimani Law Courts. So today I want us to look at this particular incident because something tells me very strongly that David Maraga could actually be the father to this child. But the system, who are keen on punishing David Maraga, who are keen on revisiting the judiciary, are the one now using this lady. Now I want you to listen to this lady very briefly, explaining the whole thing, then we can continue.
I come from Kshs. I met Maraga, our very own. I met Maraga, our very own Chief Justice, in 2013. Then we continued communicating. It was in a church function. Later on, we started seeing each other continuously. We used to go maybe to Nakuru, go to Naivasha. Everywhere I can say, any high-end place you can feel it. Then, later on, he told me, you feel so lonely because the wife can't bear kids. Sasa kaniambia, because I trust you and now we build that trust level, I want you to help me. So we agreed, everything was set, and then I got pregnant. When I delivered, he kept on giving us support. Then as from this year, January hivi, nikaona hii story iko mimi nachezwa. So I went to Makadara Children's Department. I told them what I was having, the issue, everything. They summoned him. He never honored that summon. So I started maybe looking for a lawyer to assist me, because sina hiyo pesa. Mimi nimekuwa tu nikifika tu na sioni badi story naenda. So I don't know what happens when I file my case. No response na bada. I did file this one now.
No, that's
Mary Kwamboka Onyancha. Na bado si mnaona nikizungushwa hapo.
What's really happening?
Sioni anything.
Because I strongly believe Justice Maraga
that is it.
Is being targeted. And is being targeted for two reasons. He's supposed to retire in the next few months. I think 5 months now. And a replacement is supposed to take over. But the system is keen on bringing on someone. So they fear the influence of Justice Maraga on the next Chief Justice. So they want to damage his reputation completely. So that by the time these guys will be appointing a new Chief Justice, Maraga is going to be out. Because constitutionally, Maraga is a member of the Judicial Service Commission. Now, but that's out of topic now. Let us just focus on this particular matter. There's a letter here which was written on 10th March. And this letter is from the Ministry of Gender, Youth and Social Protection. It's addressed to David Kenani Maraga. According to this letter, it's noticed to appear before Children's Officer. The letter says, which is very interesting, as you may be aware, the Department of Children and Social Protection recently received a complaint of failure to maintain a minor by the name Chantel Kemunto. My office, pursuant to Children's Act of 2020 and the powers vested on the children's officers in the process of making preliminary family assessment to make a determination regarding the allegations. By a copy of this letter, you are required to come to our Makadara District Office on 23rd March 2020 at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. to assist our officers in the said family assessment. During the family assessment process, we will discuss individual and family strength and the parenting responsibility. With the information gathered, we will develop a plan of action that will support the protection and safety of the child. I want to repeat that in all this saga, I'm not going to side with David Maraga, and I'm not going to condemn the lady. But I want to focus on the issue. Because from what I'm gathering from this, and I want to dissect this woman completely, from what I'm gathering, is that David Maraga is likely being fought by the system. Now, let us look at the complaint which the lady lodged with the courts. I'm going to do this, then I'm going to point out poke holes in the drama which this woman was causing at the Supreme Court. But I'm not going to exonerate David Maraga from the blame. Because one thing I know as a man, that an erect D can actually cause a man a trouble, especially men who are not ready to take responsibility. David Maraga was appointed as the Chief Justice in 2016. This affair ended into a child being born in 2014. During the vetting process, the Judicial Service Commission asked anybody with any objection or any query about David Maraga to come forth. This lady did not do that. Why the timing now, when the judiciary had just made a serious determination on corruption case, when David Maraga's term is coming to an end? Now let us look at the letter by the lady. I mean, but the name she filed. So it's Republic of Kenya in the Children's Court at Nairobi, Milimani Law Courts. Children's case number, not specified, of 2020. So in the matter of Chantel Kemuto Kwamboka, that's the child. So here we have Mary Kwamboka Onyancha, the plaintiff, versus David Kenani Maraga, the defendant. So plaintiff statement. So this is a statement by the lady. The statement is saying, I, Mary Kwamboka Onyancha of PO Box 62200, Nairobi, do hereby state as follows. Number one, I am the plaintiff herein. So which means she's the one who is lodging the complaint. Number two, the defendant, who is now David Maraga, and I had an intimate relationship sometimes in the year 2013 and 2014, out of which I conceived and gave birth to the minor herein, Chantel Kemuto Kwamboka, on 21st April 2014. The seven birth certificate to back it up. Number three, it's saying, upon the birth of the minor, I requested the defendant for child support, but he adamantly refused and denied paternity of the minor. So according to this lady, Maraga denied paternity to the child. And in my view, that should be the starting point. They should accept to go for a DNA test. But one thing I know, if a woman tells you that you are the father of the child, just know you are the father of the child. Instead of subjecting a child to this kind of drama. Because according to this lady, they entered into an arrangement to give birth to the child because David Maraga's wife cannot bear any child. So DNA, in my view, should be sought on this matter. Number four, it says, being a judge of the Court of Appeal at the time, the defendant frustrated all my efforts to reach out to him for the child support. Because by that time, Maraga was actually a judge of the Court of Appeal. He was not the Chief Justice. So if by that time she has started betraying this lady, in my view, when that time for vetting came, that was the time for this lady to seek for some of this redress. I don't understand why she had to wait 2014 up to now, 2020. That's almost 6 or 7 years. Then she's continuing. Since the birth of the minor, the defendant has never supported me nor the minor in any way and has abdicated his parental responsibility. This is the habit of most men. You give birth, you share a child, but when it comes to responsibility, you run away from it. This lady, in my view, if the child belongs to the Chief Justice, there's nothing which stopped the Chief Justice from taking responsibility. Because remember, Chief Justice is highly respected man in this society. He's one of the few people who are corruption free, not tainted. And that's why he's been standing tall, facing off with the president. Yeah. So number 6 is saying the minor is now a pupil at Chatham School in PP2. I have been taking care of the minor all by myself. The defendant has refused and or failed to provide for food, clothing, shelter, and medical cover for the minor. I don't know if I don't know much about the personal life of Maraga, and I'm hearing for the first time that the wife cannot bear children, which is unfortunate. But now they have a child. Even if not his, the way he's claiming, then the mother was willing to name this child as David Maraga's child. Why can't he take responsibility? I don't know. Let us continue. He's saying number 7, I have been taking care of the minor. Oh, I've done that. So at number 8, he's saying, I have made efforts, including contacting the defendant through his current office. But the defendant has ignored me and refused to take up responsibility in providing in the manner. So he's saying here, I am making a claim for the minor's monthly expenses in the following terms. Now, these are what the lady is demanding for the child's upkeep. And this is where Kenyans are having problems. This is turning out to be 160,000 per month. So basically, even this lady in her entire life, she has never earned this kind of money. So he's saying they want food per month, 20,000, which is reasonable. They want clothing per month, which is 5,000. I find that reasonable. They want shelter, which is for 45,000. Of course, they'll have to share. They want school fee, which is 41,000, which is reasonable. They want medical cover, which is 20,000 per month, not reasonable. They want a nanny at 10,000, reasonable. They want entertainment, 20,000 per month. I find that unreasonable. But a good man like David Maraga can actually take care of this child without being subjected to public ridicule like this. But I've watched the video of the lady wailing, and I'm not going to play the parts where the lady is wailing. But why do I feel that the system is actually using this lady to try and intimidate, harass, and embarrass Justice Maraga? The first thing I put in doubt is the body language of this lady. From the way this lady is behaving when she arrived at the law courts, clearly the body language tells a different story. She might be the mother, but she was forced to do this thing. She was not doing it on her own volition.
I met with Maraga to get an affair.
When?
We've been friends from 2013. And now I have a 6-year-old daughter.
Do you have the documents with you?
I have everything.
Have you
here.
filed?
I've been filing cases every now and then.
Have you filed a case in
He was
court?
even summoned by the children's department and he refused to honor that one.
Where are the papers?
I have everything
Give us,
here
give
with
us.
me. I have everything here.
Number 2, if you watch this woman keenly, at some point she was actually trying to hide her face. I think she was not expecting the kind of attention she got from the public who were interested in seeing what was happening. Even at her introduction, she was introducing her like, I had an affair with David Maraga, our Chief Justice. Why must she mention Chief Justice? And the lady was clearly trying to hide her face from the camera, from the public. Until now, she had no option than to remove and talk and address the media. The third thing I've noted is that this lady has no emotional attachment. There's no, you can't pick emotional attachment to this particular case. The lady was coerced or was forced or was influenced to go to the courts and perform this drama. Because clearly, there's no emotional attachment. Any mother would have made people and Kenyans shed a tear because of the way they are attached emotionally to the kid. And even to Maraga. We've seen cases in this country where women have actually taken their men to courts for child support. And the men have always won. And even the women have always, because they have advantage in this matter, the women have actually won those cases, but the children refusing to go with them. We've witnessed several of such cases where the children are opting to stay with the mother. There was a recent case, was it in Nakuru or Nyeri, where a lady was married to a man, left the man, stayed out there for like 7 years. The man just struggled, became successful. Then the lady came, went to the children's home, went to the children's department. She actually left this man with a young girl, 1 year or two. So this lady developed, the young girl developed very close bond with their father. So after kutembea huku kule, then the lady was advised, the man sahi akona pesa, enda for the child and enda for child support. So she went to the children's department. And the children's department, because of corruption in Kenya, ruled in his favor. And we also, with our naked eyes, probably you landed on that video of the children refusing to go with the mother. And the mother was embarrassed. And that court case was recalled. Yeah? So there was no emotional attachment between this lady, Maraga, and the child. I couldn't see any. Number 4, in most cases like this one, what normally happens is the mother would always come carrying the child. So where was the child in this matter? Maybe she was protecting the identity of the child, which is okay. But a lady doing this normally would have lost her mind and carried the baby. And lastly, is what I can call the timing. Why now? If you had an affair, in 2013, 2014, you had a child during that period. This guy was vetted, became the Chief Justice. He's not resigning. I mean, his term is coming to an end. Why bring issues now? Who has been taking care of this child between that particular time? And if you guys found yourself met at the church, because Maraga is a respected church leader, if you guys met at the church, what happened? Why don't you go to the church and sort out this matter? I want to conclude by leaving you with these clips of David Maraga and President Uhuru Kenyatta. And if you're watching this video for the first time, I want you guys to take a second or two, hit the subscribe button so that next time you produce a video like this, you get notified. Thank you guys, and please continue watching.
My sister hapa, Bonet, nimeona amevaa gauni mzima hapo, alikuwa na tumbo imekuwa imefika hapa. Akisimamia kusaini makaratasi ya Raboso. Lakini sasa and I have always said, We have a problem with our judiciary, but regardless, we respect, but we shall revisit. We shall respect, but we shall revisit this agenda. Oh yes, we shall. First and foremost, we shall address ourselves to the people of Kenya. Can you imagine? Even in America, which is supposedly the largest, the greatest democracy in the world, wakati walishindana George Bush tu na Al Gore, Supreme Court ya huko walienda wakasema kwanza, even before we discuss anything else, technicality hii kwanza, we are here to respect the will of the people. Wakaenda kuhesabu mpaka walikuwa wanatoa ile, walikuwa makaratasi ile, ati hii kura iko namna gani, to reject, to accept, to reject, because they knew as a Supreme Court they cannot overturn the will of the people. Lakini Maraga thinks he can overturn the will of the people. We shall show you in 60 days that the will of the people cannot be overturned by one or two individuals. Na tutakutana huko. Na wacha niseme na hasira kidogo, lakini kwa amani. Yeah? Tutarudi. Na tukishamaliza tutarevisit hii mambo yenu.
You read recently attempts to withdraw police traffic clearance for the CJ. But that clearance was given to very junior government officers. And you are told that it was a mistake. A mistake. That's very interesting. The CJ is not accorded the respect due to his office in quite a number of state functions. CSS and PSS are cleared to enter State House before the CJ. The CJ has got to wait. The last Masuja day, the CJ was allowed to walk to the dais through a sidewalk. And the MC did not acknowledge his arrival, but he did it to other people. I have decided that unless I'm treated with the dignity due to my office, I will choose which of those state functions I will attend. I'm told that the VIP lounge at the JKA on the ground floor is locked, is permanently locked. I'm told it is reserved for the DP. I doubt if the DP is even aware of that. I go to the JKA and use the KQ lounge, and by the way, I enjoyed the company of the passengers I get there. We laugh and talk very well. I'm not bothered about that. My problem is this. There are times I receive very, very important visitors. I have received fellow Chief Justices coming to this country. Where do you want me to take them? When I was flying last year, I was flying with one of the CJs who came at my request as an official. On official duty, and I had to go to the KQ lounge with him because it was crowded. Somebody had to vacate a seat for him.